Hi, it's Dr Denise Taylor, down in my wood, surrounded by trees, looking at the trees on the cover of my book, and I'm going through some of the chapters and bringing it alive because it's me, the author, talking about them. And there's a previous video where I talk about the introduction and part 1, reflecting, and part 2 is review. So we are reviewing key aspects of your retirement life. And the first chapter is really important because it's why we work. And so many people, they don't know what to do after working, so they just carry on. And then I come to meet them when they're 75 or 80, and they have regrets that they didn't ever review whether what they were doing was the right thing for the person that they are at that stage, rather than the person when they were 30 or 50 or whatever. So it's why we work and filling the gap, and about different types of work that you can do, different styles of work that you could do. You could continue, but you continue because you want to and you've thought about it, not because you can't think of anything else. It might be you want bridge employment. You've taken some time out and you want to get a job, but you don't really want a very stressful job, so you do a low paid, probably low skilled job. Maybe you want to start your own business. Maybe it's less about earning money and more about involvement with charities or voluntary work. But we're thinking about how you're going to fill the gap. And of course there's leisure activities as well. I just love being able to come and spend the time in the wood. So that's the first chapter. And then chapter 6 is about health and well-being. And I think it's as we get older, we realise how important our health is. And however we've lived a life up until the day we read this chapter, it's like, but what can I do now? What are some tiny changes that I can make to eat a bit better, sleep a bit better, have less stress in my life, have better ways of coping with my stress? So it's health and well-being, because wellness is key. We then talk about relationships and getting you to think about relationships. The first one is the relationship with yourself. And then it's also thinking about the relationships with your partner, with your parents, with your children, with wider society, with your friends. And a lot of people don't have any friends when they come to retire. Indeed, when I left my marriage, I didn't have any friends either. We were a very insular sort of couple. We knew people, but I don't think any of them were really my friends, just people that I said hello to. A bit sad when I look back, but I have friendships now. So we're looking at relationships. And then there's a chapter about financial well-being. And I wasn't going to put finances in at all because my work's about the non-financial aspects. But I think there's a psychology about money and about what we think of it. So that's a useful chapter to review. And then we get on to the third section, part 3, renew, finding meaning and the new you in retirement. And I talk about things like meaning, mattering, and generativity. And these are terms, I guess most people have thought about meaning and purpose, but mattering, when I came across that, and it was a term I had come across in the past, but it's like, how do we matter without our job? And it ties in with our identity. And then generativity, it's one of Erickson's stages of life. And I can't think of the opposite of generativity. It's not declined, but it's a bit like that. You know, it can be very negative. So one of the good things about aging well is about thinking about the wider society and looking at the world beyond us. And so we're covering all of those, and this is where I go and give you examples about the people that I had the in-depth interviews with. And we finish with chapter 12 with Who Am I? Rethinking Who You Are. And the final chapter, the new you, is the you want to be. And there's some really interesting things in here, and we're reviewing, we're going back to where you were before. You learn from some of the people that I've interviewed. Let's just get to the right chapter. So I'm still on chapter 12, the new you. It's to review your journey, to reflect on how much we've learned and how far we've come. And I think that's something that we all need, to take some time for reflection and make sure that the person we are now is the person that we want to be. And the final exercise is to look at your life 25 years into the future. And in fact, I'm going to do that as a separate video because I'm 5 minutes on. Anyway, till next time, it's Dr. Denise. Bye-bye.